Are you serious? Are you serious? Well, I'm very serious. And I have from the NSA files, I have a complete briefing on the powers of FEMA. And the NSA definitely want us to know just what those powers are, and they wanted me to know. And I'm going to share it with you. What is FEMA? Simply put, it is the secret government. This agency has the powers and the authority to go well beyond any other agency in the nation. What can FEMA do? It can suspend laws. It can move entire populations. It can arrest and detain citizens without a warrant and can hold them without a trial. It can seize property, food supplies, and transportation systems. And it can even suspend the Constitution of the United States. When the first concept has been presented, its original mission was to assure the survivability of the United States government in an event of a nuclear attack. Its secondary function was to be a federal coordinating body during times of domestic disasters, like Hurricane Matthew that's about ready to crush Florida. These disasters consist of earthquakes and floods and hurricanes. The secret black helicopters that are reported throughout the United States, mainly in West California, Washington, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Colorado areas, are flown by FEMA personnel. It has been given the responsibility for many new national disasters such as forest fires, home heating emergencies, refugee situation, riots, and emergency planning for nuclear and toxic incidences. It works together with the 6th Army in the West. A series of executive orders was used to create FEMA. It does not matter whether an EQ is constitutional or not. Excuse me, I said EQ, EO, an EO, executive order. It does not matter if it's constitutional or not. It becomes a law simply by being published in the Federal Registry. These orders go around Congress, and they're done by the President of the United States. Supposedly, there's over 800 prison camps, or FEMA camps, in the United States, all fully operational, ready to receive prisoners. They are all staffed and even surrounded by full-time guards, but they are mostly empty. These camps are to be operated by should martial law need to be implemented in the United States, and it all would take is just a presidential signature on a proclamation and the Attorney General's signature on a warrant to which a list of names is attached. You have obviously heard of the Rex 84 program, which was established on the reckoning that if a mass exodus of illegal aliens crosses the Mexican-U.S. border, they would be quickly rounded up and detained in detention centers by FEMA. Rex 84 allowed many military bases to be closed down and to be turned into prisons or FEMA camps. Operational Cable Splicer and Garden Plot are the two sub-programs which are to be implemented once the Rex 84 program is initiated for its proper purpose. Garden Plot was the program to control the population. Cable Splicer was the program for an orderly takeover of the state and local governments by federal government. I believe, folks, that the pieces and parts are in place for the beast to rise internally in the United States and then externally in the United Nations and the world. FEMA is the executive, not the enforcement, arm of a coming police state, and thus will head up all operations. The presidential executive orders already listed on the Federal Register also are part of a legal framework for this operation. Regarding the camps, it seems they all have railroad facilities. They have roads leading up to them from the detention facilities. Many also have an airport nearby. The majority of the camps can house a population of 20,000 prisoners or more. Currently, the largest of these facilities is just outside of Fairbanks, Alaska. The Alaskan facility is a massive mental health facility and can hold approximately 2 million people. Of course, it would have to be decided who qualifies to be sent to Alaska. Here's some of the executive orders that's already been signed. Executive Order 10990 allows the government to take over all modes of transportation and control of highways and seaports. Executive Order 10995 allows the government to seize the control of the communication media. Executive Order 10997 allows the government to take over all electrical power grids, gas, petroleum, fuels, and minerals. Executive Order 10998 allows the government to seize all means of transportation, including personal cars, trucks, or vehicles, or any kind, and total control over all highways, seaports, and waterways. Executive Order 10999 allows the government to take over all food resources and farms. Executive Order 11,000 allows the government to mobilize civilians into work brigades under government supervision. Hello! Also, Executive Order 11001 allows the government to take over all health, education, and welfare functions. Executive Order 11002 designates the Postmaster General to operate a national registration of all persons. Executive Order 11003 allows the government to take over all airports and aircraft, including commercial aircraft. And Executive Order 11004 allows the Housing and Finance Authority to relocate communities, build new housing with public funds, designate areas to be abandoned, and establish new locations for populations. This goes right along with the dream I had in 1994 when I seen buses of people being sent to the West Coast, and not to the West Coast, out into the West, Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, in these desert communities, of which in the dream I ended up there. They were FEMA camps and FEMA communities, okay? And it depends which category they put you in. In Executive Order 11005, it allows the government to take over railroads, inland waterways, and public storage facilities. Executive Order 11051 specifies the responsibility of the Office of Emergency Planning and gives authorization to put all executive orders into effect in times of increased international tensions, and economic or financial crisis. Folks, right now, the rhetoric between America and Russia, the threat of nuclear war, would allow Executive Order 11051 to be implemented if the President of the United States so chose to. And if he did, it kicks all the rest of these into play, if so needed. And Executive Order 11310 grants authority to the Department of Justice to enforce the plans set out in the executive orders, to institute industrial support, to establish judicial and legislative liaison, to control all aliens, to operate prisons and correctional institutions, and to advise and assist the President of the United States. Executive Order 11049 assigns emergency preparations functions to federal departments and agencies, consolidating 21 operative executive orders issued over a 15-year period into one. And then there's Executive Order 11921. That allows the Federal Emergency Preparation Agency, or FEMA, to develop plans to establish control over the mechanisms of production and distribution of energy sources, wages, salaries, credit, the flow of money in the United States financial institution, in any undefined national emergency. It also provides that when a state of emergency is declared by the President, Congress cannot review the action for 6 months. Did you just see that? Congress can't even review his decision to implement these executive orders. The Federal Emergency Management Agency of FEMA has broad powers in every aspect of the nation. All right? Just sharing some of these things with you. These are a report, what I am calling the NSA files. And I think it's the information that is rarely known by the average American citizen anywhere in the United States. What you're looking at, Hurricane Matthew, is enough of a reason for the President of the United States to kick several of these executive orders into play if he so chooses, without the Congress allowed to even investigate it, or how he did it and why he did it for 6 months. And guess what? Just the tension of potential nuclear war with other foreign nations gives the authority for the federal government to enact all of these executive orders. I'll read it to you again. Executive Order 11921 allows the Federal Emergency Preparedness Agency to develop plans to establish control over the mechanisms of production and distribution. Okay? All right, I read all that one. And it cannot be reviewed. It gives all the authority to the President, cannot be reviewed by Congress. Here it is. Executive Order 11051 specifies the responsibility of the Office of Emergency Planning and gives authorization to put all executive orders into effect in times of increased international tensions, not even war, just tensions, possibility of war. Could enact the entire martial law plan here. And international tensions and economic or financial crisis. So between the rhetoric going back and forth between the United States and Russia and Hurricane Matthew, you may be just about ready for the October surprise. Give your life to Jesus Christ. We're on the brink of the beast. We're on the edge of eternity. Something biblical is going on with the signs of the second coming of Christ.